What's up, Internet? We're back with another video today, tearing into the Clay Paky Sharpy. We had a couple of them take a nasty fall a few months ago, and they bent the crap out of the pan tubes. It's not the end of the world. The pan tube is replaceable, and you can rebuild the whole yoke if you want to, but really our fleet needs more parts. So I'm going to tear down this entire Sharpy. I'm going to keep all of the belts, all of the motors, and all of the sensors that are still good that normally go bad on these Sharpies to begin with. So we're going to start with removing the tilt belt. Break the tension on the 4 retaining screws to give the belt some play. Once the tension's broken, you should be able to push in on the belt and see it flex and move the motor. You can then pull the belt off of the gear. With the belt off, you're going to remove the 2 screws holding the sensor in place, unplug and remove the sensor, and this is what's going to allow you to remove the belt. You can do this step first if you want to, it really doesn't matter. Next, you're going to remove the 2 tension springs that hold the motor in place. A hook pick makes this job pretty easy, but pliers will do the job just the same. Once the 2 springs are removed, you can remove the 4 tension screws holding the motor in place and pull the tilt motor out. So next we're going to remove the pan tilt board from the arm. It's easy enough. You just disconnect all of the buses and all the power connections and then remove the retaining nuts. This board should always have all 4 dip switches pushed to the on position away from the numbers if you're ever going to replace it. So we want to remove the pan motor and the pan belt. Both are still good even though the pan tube has been damaged. The pan motor will come out basically the same way the tilt motor did. You break the tension and then slip the belt right off. Once the belt's off, you can remove the springs, remove the screws, and pull the motor out. We'll come back to actually getting the pan belt off in a little bit. So next we're going to get the lens module off. There's 4 screws that hold the module on. We're going to remove those 4 screws as well as disconnect the buses between the modules. The effects module is held in with 4 catch screws. You just got to unscrew the 4 of these and then disconnect the 2 buses in the rear of the fixture, and then you can pull the module out. So my next step is going to be removing the main harness. You'll need to cut a few zip ties, so be careful that you don't chop any of the wires in the harness while you're removing them. Remove the bus connection from its carrier and then pull the whole harness through the arm of the fixture. Next, you're going to want to work from the opposite end of the harness in the upper enclosure. You're going to want to unplug all the buses, and then you'll pull up through the pan tube and out of the fixture. I'm also going to remove the lamp wires and the grounds. These will get pulled up through the pan tube the same way. So I'm going to remove the back panel to make my next step easier. This may not be necessary if you're just replacing the pan belt, but for my purpose, to get the lamp wires out, it makes it easier. Once all the cables are free from the pan tube, we can remove the yoke from the upper enclosure. I used a 17mm crescent wrench to remove the 4 nuts holding the yoke on. Once these are off, pull the 2 small aluminum plates off, lift the yoke, and it should pull away from the base, leaving you with 2 pieces. Flip the yoke upside down, and you'll see the 6 screws holding this forked plate on. Remove those 6 screws. You'll need to remove this slotted nut. It's held in place with this spiked washer. I just used a hammer and a driver to loosen it, and then once it's removed, the plate will come right off and the pan belt is free. So here's a close-up of the upper enclosure if you've never seen it before. Right here is the battery, right here is the lamp power supply, and right here is the fixture power supply. So if you're just replacing the pan belt, from here you can reverse all your steps and put your fixture back together. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe.